Hey there, how are you? Well, it's early in the morning and I have an order for cupcakes that I have to turn in later today. And I have a little bit of extra time this morning where it's nice and quiet in this kitchen. Nobody is here. And I was thinking, how do I want to decorate these cupcakes? It was a request for, there are three couples that are sharing an anniversary month. And so basically I need to add their anniversary year, for each of them. And let me see if I can show this to you. So basically, they wanted gold and silver. And so these are going to be chocolate cupcakes. And I made numbers for their year, and then I added some gold dust over them. And now I'm thinking, okay, so how am I going to decorate these cupcakes? I made my delicious creamy vanilla whip frosting, and I have my piping bag. This tip is, let me just check here, the Ateco 849 tip. I don't think you can see the number right there because the light's always going to glare. Anyways, so I'm going to fill this up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some test decorating, if you will. One of the things that I mentioned before is that I was always very cautious as to not being wasteful. And to be honest, you have to practice. If you want to get better, you have to practice. It can't all be just from your mind and your ideas, let me wing it. A lot of things will come out very nice when you wing it. I can attest to that. But trust me, it'll come out much better when you do have an actual idea of what you're doing or where you want to go or how you want things to look. And so what I did is I went through my sprinkle drawer. I'm officially calling that right now. It was never called that. And I pulled out several different sprinkles that I have, with the colors. So this one has, silver, gold, white, and black. And I'm looking for textures. And I'm also thinking about once they pick up, this is something they're going to have in their fridge. Oh, these are very pretty. I like the way these little sugar crystals look. My concern is that I don't know how long they're going to be sitting in the fridge and if you'll still be able to appreciate those sugar crystals or if they're going to disintegrate. So anyways, these are pretty too. These are gold and silver little stars and speckles of white, silver, and gray. And this is just plain old sanding sugar, which is a little bit finer. So I'm not sure if I'll be using that. But here are my toppers. And we are keeping it simple because, I think those chocolate numbers that I did are pretty big when they're gonna sit on top of the cupcake. And so you really don't want to have it look like a circus either. After all, these are, which I have made a little circus cupcake before, nothing wrong with that. This is for a wedding anniversary. One couple is having 35 years, the other one 46, and the other one 42. So that's nice. I want to show you these because I don't think the little plastic bag will do them justice. They'll get too shiny and glary. So let me show you. So here are our hearts, and my plan is to see. See what that you see? You see, it's too early. It is 6:25 in the morning, y'all. Anyways, moving on. So there are gold and silver hearts, and I'm going to use these to top the cupcakes, and then the numbers will go sitting on top. And I wanted to have some sprinkles go around the swirl. I also made these little feather-like, chocolate pieces. And I had some extra chocolate when I was making the numbers, so I didn't want it to go to waste. And I figured that if I didn't use them for these cupcakes, I can always just use them for other cupcakes that I can have here in the taco shop. And I really like this because it's simple, it's quick, it's easy to do. And if you top a cupcake with something like this, I think it just takes it to the next level. It's just that extra little something that makes you want to, you know, bite into it. And these are not perfect, obviously, and that's what makes them even better, that every shape, you know, was handmade. So then, see, these are so cute. Actually, if I wanted to take it next level, I could have gotten something curved where I could have sat these while they dried, and they look much nicer because they would have been curved. This isn't going to look bad though once you sit it on a cupcake and add some sparkly stuff to it. Again, just an extra little step. So anyways, let's move on. But just being honest with you, being real, I really like this swirl because this tip, I'm sorry, because it gives you like a big decorating area, if that's the proper way of saying it. Normally I'll use the 1M tip and I'll go a couple of swirls. You could totally do that with this, because like I said, these are the anniversary ones. I think this is too low for my liking if I want to wow them. So I'll go and do a smaller swirl in the center, right? But here's the kicker, because those numbers are going to sit on top. That's not a good idea because I think it'll flop it over to the side once you sit the numbers there. So another option would be just go equally. See, that one's still a little bit smaller on the top because I'm so used to making. That was too big. That didn't come out. Okay, let's try again. Let me squeeze. Yeah, that's my habit. So what I'm gonna do is create my circle rosette here and then just start a new one right on top of it of the same size. That one's a little bit better, bigger. And you're not really being wasteful like that. I didn't like the way that came out, but it's gonna get covered with our top layer. I didn't like the way, I think this one's my favorite. So you're not really wasting because you can just put it back. Put it back in your bowl and then use it again. But anyways, I like the way this one looks. You can see it, right? And then I have an idea that the number is gonna sit here, and I'm not gonna use the numbers right here right now because those, I was not smart enough to make extras. And then I'm basically going to insert the picks. The question here is, because those are gold and this is like a nice little creamy tint beige on the frosting, I would like to do more of a silver accenting, if you will. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see how long it, I don't want to say how long it takes, but I'm going to put these in the fridge to see the reaction of the different type of toppings. This one's really cute because it's got the sugar crystals, but it's got a couple of those little pearls and the little, what do we call them? Maybe tablets there. So yes, I want to go with silver, but I'm thinking I should still have some gold in there. And I think that that's where these are going to come in. So let's say I'm not going to decorate, I'll decorate that one just to test it out. But let's say I'm going to sprinkle this around the edges. As if I am decorating my cupcake. And you know what? It's not going to kill me to make another chocolate number, so I'll go ahead and do one here. And as you can see, it's not a lot that I'm adding in there. Let me see if I can get closer. Okay. Then I'm going to add, see how these are. If you can see this. just little, very light little sparkles of gold and silver, stars, and I'm liking the way this is looking. And normally if I'm holding the cupcake, I will pick up the cupcake, put it on its side so I can go around. But I'm liking the way these look. Just a little touch of gold because I don't want the numbers to, you know, not have anything to connect in there too. So there we go. And then we can totally add numbers, and I kind of center that. And this is a good way for me to know if I need to add more of something. I can do one. What's that? That's higher and one that's lower. So there. Let's see if I can flip this around. There you go. You know, it looks pretty simple, but again, remember, this is for an anniversary. It's not for a kid's birthday party. And that's just one idea. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to do it this way. But I wanted to share it with you because sometimes I'll get requests and I'm kind of wondering, well, how do I want to do this? How do I want it to look? And this is one idea, and just by looking at it this way, I can tell you I'm not liking very much how that dust looks on that number, chocolate number. And what I did is I used a silicone mold for the numbers. And so I would like my numbers to be a little bit more popping, like that glitter. So I'm probably going to put together a little bit of edible gold dust with a little bit of vodka to create like a paint. And I'm going to paint over those numbers to just make them all a brighter, shinier kind of gold. This little dust to me just now, I made these last night. And right now, to me, they're looking like they're too, what's the word, dry. They're not popping for me, and I want these to be able to stand out. So I'm probably going to use a little bit more bright glitter on those numbers. All right, well, I hope this was helpful in some way. And honestly, this isn't supposed to be earth-shattering. This is just to kind of, you know, remind you again that the more you do something, the more you're going to get comfortable with it, and you're going to see what works for you or doesn't work for you. So just go out there and create and enjoy it and have fun, and remember why you're doing what you do. You're doing this because you love it, you enjoy it. Don't let anybody take that from you. This can become a very satisfying career route. But you don't want it to become something where your passion is just being lost. I mean, there's just so many other things we can talk about, and we will, in terms of what happens when you're doing this as a business, and then you get the stress and pressure of having to perform and do these and put these together. But if you're ever able to give yourself that extra time, if that means coming in early, staying up a little bit later, whenever you're more creative, whatever works for you, then do that. Come and play. Just come and play. So with that, I'll leave you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.